Despite merely presenting the news, Fox News anchors manage to maintain their popularity on television. People become interested in their life off-camera as a result. Two prominent anchors of the network are divorcing in 2025. They're not alone either. Numerous Fox News stars have broken up with their partners over the years for a variety of reasons, from infidelity scandals to intractable disagreements. You will be taken aback upon seeing the second individual on this list. Jeff Kepnes and Liz Claman. The union of Fox Business presenter Liz Claman and MSNBC managing editor Jeff Kepnes stood out in the high-stakes world of national news, where competing networks vie for every second of attention and each personality has a public presence. These two media professionals were dedicated to one another despite having different occupations. They started dating at a younger, more subdued point in their careers, and by the late 1990s, their relationship had grown into marriage. While working at WHDH-TV in Boston, Claman and Kepnes connected through a combination of personal chemistry, newsworld happenstance, and a common professional goal. They tied the knot at the Beverly Hills Hotel in 1999, beginning a 24-year relationship that would result in 2 children. Claman advanced through the ranks of business journalism over time. She joined Fox Business Network in 2007 after working as an anchor at CNBC. Her red hair, incisive questioning, and interviews with some of America's most influential business people made her the face of the Claman countdown. She became known as the CEO Whisperer at 01:45. Jeff Kepnes, on the other hand, forged his own route behind the scenes of TV news after working for CNN and returning to MSNBC as managing editor of Morning Joe. Because they were both professionals in the same field, their marriage was frequently referred to as a media power couple. They were able to maintain the advancement of their careers and families. Insiders disclose that although they appeared stable from the outside, their distance from one another increased with time. The couple secretly divorced in 2023, but no one found out until 2025. Although there was some conjecture when Claman stopped wearing her wedding band on television, nobody surmised that they were divorcing. According to acquaintances, she and Kepnes separated amicably and did not release a joint statement. What could have led to the split? Although neither party has discussed the private locations in public, rumors and insiders suggest other explanations. The fact that the couple worked for direct competing networks, one at MSNBC and the other at Fox Business, could have caused professional problems, which is one of the speculated explanations. Some have observed that even the strongest relationships can be strained by the demands of too high-profile, high-stress occupations, particularly in polarized news situations. According to some accounts, the couple had just drifted apart over time. News agencies reported in 2025 that their 24-hour marriage was over and that a divorce was on the horizon. However, there are other Fox News couples divorcing as well, as another well-known anchor disclosed that she had only been married for 2 years. Banderas, Julie. On February 9, 2023, Julie Banderas made the shocking and unrepentant announcement, "I am getting a divorce. Live on television." Bandera appeared to be living a secure and contented life with Andrew Sansone for over 10 years. However, by the beginning of 2023, that meticulously preserved image fell apart in every way possible. The romance between Banderas and Sansone began in the late 2000s. After meeting at an event connected to Sansone's philanthropic organization, they fell in love and became engaged in 2008. In 2009, the couple finally tied the knot. Together, they had 3 kids over the years, and Banderas managed to juggle parenthood with her busy broadcasting job. Many believed that their marriage worked well because it combined the demands of the media industry with family life. However, problems between the couple were growing behind the scenes. The clearest indication that they were already divorcing was when Banderas declared in public in December 2022 that Sanson was her soon-to-be ex. When she later disclosed that their marriage was failing, it wasn't all that shocking. During a Valentine's Day feature on Goodfeld, it's unclear if there were numerous reasons for the separation. Bandera announced her impending divorce right away, dismissing the occasion as a pointless Hallmark holiday. Many were taken aback when she revealed this kind of information during a live performance. That was breaking news, she continued. However, the announcement of the divorce wasn't the last thing to make headlines. There were rumors of a troubling incident in December 2022, shortly before the separation was announced. After putting a knife to Banderas's throat during a domestic argument, Sanson was taken into custody and charged with misdemeanor, menacing, and weapon possession. The reported incident is generally believed to have hastened the dissolution of their marriage, and Banderas subsequently obtained a restraining order. One of the most well-liked Fox News anchors ended their career after the divorce was announced in early 2023. It also signified that Banderas was beginning a new phase in his life, both publicly and personally. She later disclosed that she had to leave the marriage solely for her physical and mental health, and that the divorce process was painful but eventually freeing. A well-known Fox News host divorced a few years later, and many were astonished when he began seeing someone else at the network. Hannity, Sean. With its wealth of professional triumphs, quiet conflicts, and now an unexpected new chapter. Sean Hannity's marriage, divorce, and new romance are almost like a contemporary drama. In 1991, while working at a radio station in Alabama, Hannity got to know Jill Rodas, who was writing a political column for a local newspaper. Despite the cautions of others in RHS's social circle who thought Hannity's experience on New York talk radio was a bad fit for small-town Alabama, their relationship immediately took off. The wedding took place on January 9, 1993. Their marriage appeared stable for many years. A daughter was born in 2001, while a son was born in 1998. Despite Hannity's increased public profile, they made an effort to keep their family life private. Hannity's thriving career in radio broadcasts, primetime television, and extensive travel seems to have worn them down over time. According to insiders, there was less time for the marriage to develop and change together because of the long hours and ongoing work. Hannity and Rhodes announced their calm and scandal-free divorce in a joint statement in June 2020, following almost 20 years of dating. They claim to have made a peaceful agreement years prior to be dedicated to co-parenting, and to have requested privacy for the benefit of their kids. Many characterize their divorce as respectful and civil, even if their marriage ended. It has been stated that even after splitting up, the couple still went to their kids' events and had dinners together. However, Hannity's tale was far from over. He was subtly connected to fellow Fox News anchor Anansley Hayhart in the years after the divorce. Their long-standing respect and common beliefs served as the foundation for their relationship, which grew steadily until it turned passionate. Sometime in 2020, they began dating. The couple made a significant commitment to one another in December 2024. During the Christmas break, Hannity proposed to Hayhart at a Florida church, and the engagement was made public. Hannity had a complete-circle romantic experience. After a lengthy, tense marriage and a youthful romance in Alabama, he is now starting again with a lady who, strangely, works for Fox News. There was nothing remarkable or scandalous about his break from Rhodes. The couple ultimately made the decision to file for divorce, and there were no harsh accusations or public altercations. It's interesting to note that Annesley Hayhart, his current fiancée, is one of the well-known Fox News anchors who has divorced twice. Hayhart, Annesley. Kevin McKinney was Anne Hart's first spouse. Not long after graduating from college, they were married in April 2005 in her hometown of Columbia, South Carolina. She was only starting out in local TV news at the time, and a few years later, she agreed to work for Fox News. Her first marriage didn't last long, but it was a significant step for both her career and geography. After 4 years, Hart and McKenna divorced, and their separation was completed in 2009. Although neither of them has publicly disclosed the cause for their divorce, Hayhart's professional shifts have drawn the attention of numerous insiders and media watchers. She relocated to New York and began working for a large TV network. There may have been tension between them as a result. Despite this, Hayhart continued to believe in romance and marriage, and she fell in love once more. She wed Will Proctor, a former quarterback for Clemson University who now works in finance, in October 2012. After a promising union, they welcomed a daughter in 2015. Hayhart's career was taking off at the same time as she rose up the ranks at Fox and co-hosted Fox and Friends. However, the couple's relationship started to deteriorate over time. According to insiders, Proctor cheated on her, possibly with one of her close friends, which ultimately led to the dissolution of the marriage. All of these were disputed by Proctor, who said that there was not a shred of truth between them. However, the breakup seems unavoidable. The divorce was formalized in 2019. Hayhart issued a statement in 2018 stating, "After much prayer and careful consideration, Will and I have separated." Hayhart was quite open about his difficulties in interviews following the divorce. She talked about her struggles with miscarriages, juggling a prominent job with parenthood, and coming to the conclusion that living in a house simply because they were married wasn't sufficient. She also concluded that ending the marriage would be healthier for her mental health and the welfare of her daughter. She might then become a devoted parent and a successful professional. Her life had a difficult but significant shift after the divorce. Hayhart stressed in public remarks following the breakup that they would continue to be cordial, dedicated to co-parenting their daughter, and mindful of their joint obligations. She also discussed how her Christian religion helped her deal with loss, growth, and hope. Hayhart has been concentrating on parenting her baby lately, but she is also seeing another well-known Fox News presenter, Sean Hannity, romantically. It appears that these Fox News hosts never reveal the cause of their splits. However, our next well-known figure was at fault since he cheated on his wife in a very noticeable manner. Waters Jesse. Jesse Waters appeared to have the steadiness that comes with a long-term marriage for a number of years. He wed Noelle Inguagiato in 2009, and the two of them had twin girls a few years later. Their marriage seemed simple for a while, with a developing family, a thriving job, and public peace. However, something wild was going on behind the scenes. Their relationship's problems weren't made public until 2017 when Waters was discovered to have an affair. It was with a co-worker of his, not a complete stranger. This woman was Emma Davian, who worked as his show's associate producer. The dynamics radically changed after the affair was made public. In late 2017, shortly after he came clean about having an affair, Guagato filed for divorce. 10 years of marriage came to an end with their divorce in March 2019. The fact that he was having the affair while in the office added to the controversy surrounding the split. He only faced minor consequences after reporting himself to HR. Waters' life didn't stop. He and Digioine were married in December 2019, just a few months after the divorce was finalized. He received a lot of attention and criticism from the public for getting married so soon after divorcing in the same year. After becoming his wife, Digiovine, who had previously worked for him, was transferred to a different show. Waters wasn't ashamed of the fact that he had cheated on his wife, which made this divorce quite controversial. He even shared tales on television about how he offered Diwine a ride home by letting the air out of her tires. However, a number of internet commenters have stated that the action was disturbing and exploitative. Waters carried on with his contented and tranquil existence in spite of this. A son was born to them in April 2021. They joined the family 2 years later, bringing the total number of children in Waters' home to 4. 2 from his first marriage and 2 from his current one were now in his possession. The kids from both homes appear to get along, and he and Emma frequently exchange photos of everyday life. Despite being in the center of the controversy, Waters managed to maintain a large following and seemed to be leading a contented life. However, our next Fox News anchor is more akin to the network's well-known entertainment reality stars host, Patrick Keeley and Kat Day. Kat and Patrick originally became acquainted in the early 2000s when co-hosting the BBC talent show Fame Academy. Although they were friendly at the time, their relationship was not romantic. They continued to be friends over time. Even though their careers took distinct turns throughout time, their relationship persisted. While Patrick is still developing as a comic and media figure, Kat established a worldwide reputation as a television host. Their relationship grew stronger, and they fell in love sometime in 2011, when Patrick took a plane from Belfast to Los Angeles to surprise Kat at a birthday brunch. It was the pivotal moment. They started dating after that unexpected and sincere gesture. In front of close friends and family, they were married in a private ceremony in Rome in September 2012. Their public life were hardly impacted by the modest celebration. Their lives were always balanced between their expanding family, career, and love. 2 sons were born to the couple in 2016 and 2018. They balanced cross-continental work for years. While Patrick carried on with his media career in the UK and Ireland, Kat spent much of her time in the US hosting programs like So You Think You Can Dance. Before going back to the UK in 2020, they lived in Los Angeles for over 10 years, purchasing a sizable house in North London together, possibly as a demonstration of their resolve to provide their kids with security and roots. However, underlying that normalcy, the couple began to feel pressured. During a podcast appearance in 2023, Patrick acknowledged that he believed the marriage had become unbalanced. He admitted, rather regretfully, that he felt more like a junior stakeholder than an equal partner during their partnership. He seldom had any influence over their significant life setbacks, such as moving from Los Angeles to London. The pressures of their jobs, time spent apart, and parenting duties began to strain their marriage. Kat's job required a lot of overtime. They are among the Fox News couples that got divorced in 2025 despite Patrick's own schedule keeping him away most of the time. They made a joint statement announcing their split, emphasizing that no third party was involved. They requested privacy from the world after deciding to co-parent their 2 sons. Relationships amongst Fox News anchors have been up and down. Additionally, one of the TV network's most well-known figures, dubbed the most attractive anchor, went through a divorce. Kelly Meghan. Another Fox News anchor who went through a divorce is Megyn Kelly, who eventually found a new husband. In 2001, she was married to a doctor named Daniel Kendall. However, their marriage terminated in divorce in 2006. She matured from that experience, moved on, and was prepared to find a compatible companion. Everything changed on a blind date in 2006. She met Douglas Brunt in this way. At the time, he worked as an executive in the business sector before redefining himself as a writer. After a brief period of dating, they were married at OHA Castle in New York on March 2008 in what Kelly subsequently described as the single best decision of my life. Their marriage appeared to be a fairy tale from the outside. Additionally, according to Kelly, Brunt was intelligent, polite, and grounded. After having 3 children, Edward, Yardley, and Thatcher Bray, Kelly and Brunt had a happy marriage. All of them were conceived through IVF. Meghan avoided the intense scrutiny of the media and kept her family life secret. Additionally, Brunt stated in interviews that their marriage was based on mutual respect and communication. He acknowledged that honesty and openness were what kept them on the same page despite public pressure, saying that they learned to put things on the table and discuss them. On their 15th anniversary, Kelly herself praised their union, recalling the snowy winter day of their wedding at OHA Castle and calling the decision to wed him a blessing. The couple is still wed and will stay together for the rest of their lives. Brunt and Kelly maintain a family life with their 3 children and have made public appearances together this year, such as at the Time 100 Gala. Kelly discussed their years together in a 2023 podcast episode, stating that her relationship with Brunt is still meaningful. She acknowledged that she was perplexed when they first started dating because he wasn't like her past music lovers. He was less arrogant, quieter, and more contemplative. However, these distinctions ultimately contributed to his suitability for her. Fox News has had a variety of anchors throughout the years. One of the well-known legends even got divorced in the 1990s. Eddie Hill, whose real name is Edith Ann Tarbox, had a successful career in journalism and eventually gained widespread recognition as a news anchor on Fox News Channel beginning in 1998. Behind the camera, however, her personal life was changing through a string of marriages and relationships that represented both survival and optimism. In April 1989, while she was anchoring at Pittsburgh's WPX-Y-TV, she married Mark Phillip for the first time. 2 children were born out of that union. It was perhaps a time when stability and family were promised. However, that marriage ended in divorce in 1995. Because she married Jay a second time, this was a significant personal chapter in her life and the start of a pattern. David Donahue. Yet he went through another divorce. She had a child in her second marriage, but it ended discreetly at some point, and nobody even knew she had filed for divorce.